Live from 42nd Street in New York City, you're watching PIX Morning News.
The winds will gust at the height of the storm to 30 to potentially 40 miles an hour. And I wouldn't be surprised out into the Twin Forks of seeing a gust over 40 miles an hour. We do have a high wind advisory for Nassau and Suffolk County. Inland, anywhere from 20 to 30 miles per hour. WPIX.com is going to have the latest. Chris Knowles will also have the latest at 4:30 in the morning. Could be a serious situation for the river flooding, as we mentioned, with the river guidance coming in. A couple rivers now hitting that flooding already has a history of producing some severe weather, and that's what we're concerned with tomorrow afternoon. We are under a slight risk from the Storm Prediction Center, large hail, gusty winds, and also that dangerous lightning, all a possibility.
It is absolutely amazing. We have 7-foot waves just offshore, and that's going to continue to roll in. Right down the coast, Dave, if you can get that shot, there is no beach. So that's the major concern from Seabright officials. In fact, I just got off the phone from the New Jersey Emergency Management. Ice right underneath this fluffy snow. Last night's snow event was a very wet snow. It took a while to accumulate, but once it accumulated, yeah, we got anywhere from 6 to 12 inches down across the Sayreville area. To the north, as Brian was mentioning, over a foot of snow. So the snow looks to continue. Winter storm warning, that's going to stay into effect until Saturday afternoon. The storm's not going anywhere very quickly. So guys, we're going to send it back. Also becoming a concern at this hour with the winds picking up. We've been seeing outages. JCP&L reporting close to 500 power outages in portions of northern Ocean County, southern Monmouth County, where they're anticipating over a foot of snow. So the snow continues to fall down here. The ocean's cranking up.
They don't have the equipment, you know, the Public Works Department to clear.
That's exactly right. And they only have about 10 or 15 trucks down there. Right. We got about an arsenal of 20 to 30. So it's a whole different deal. It's going to take a couple days. And again, once this stuff kind of hits, go into the snow days. It's like, what is this stuff? What is this white stuff that falls from the sky? All right, here's the deal. We got this winter storm watch posted for just about the entire Bay State. The exception out towards Berkshire County. That's because we're anticipating not the greatest snowfall out towards the west. This is going to be a system that the further east you go, you'll get into some blizzard. This is going to be rocking and rolling towards the coast in the next few hours or so. And again, very deep area of low pressure. It's dragging down some super cold air on the backside of it. So that's where we're starting to see that ice switching back over to snow. In fact, parts of New Orleans may get some snow, if you can believe that. That's how intense this storm really is. And the extent of the precip goes all the way up into towards Roanoke and North Carolina, making a run for Norfolk probably by tomorrow. Look at the extent of the precip. That 800 to 900 miles in width. That's a lot of moisture. And again, when these storms get cranking off the coast, all this moisture is going to get thrown back along the coastal sections. So that's when we're easily talking about a number of states involved in this. Her and I are at the desk, let me tell you, because we're always scheming things.
I love it. At noon, I miss out on all the fun and all the opportunity. All I can hear is them laughing behind the scenes, and I am freezing my butt off when it's like 10 degrees out there.
Fun. I mean, you got to have fun in like the 9.5 hours that you work every day.
Right, yeah.
That's how many
Delirium.
hours
okay. There it is, a sky cam.
Live sky cam. Yeah, we are certainly talking about some serious clouds working into the area. That's about it. Not going to be a big deal today. It's going to be mostly cloudy sky, and we are starting out some cool numbers. Number of readings that are into the teens for everyone. It's now a pair of ones in Gardner and Orange. 15 Holyoke, and you go up towards Northampton at 17 degrees. So cold start your morning, taking our numbers that'll be into around 30 degrees. We already have this winter storm watch down to the south of us. This is south of Hartford, much of the southern coast of Connecticut. What's so interesting about this watch is it's actually just for select counties. Usually when we see these watches issued, they're for a large area, for usually several states involved. So this just gives you an idea of how selective this storm is going to be, and how these bandings of snow that will develop tomorrow are going to be very, very isolated. And I'm going to show you what's going to really happen coming up in just a second. So a lot of clouds out there this morning. That takes us into this afternoon. That's going to be a cloudy day. And we are already tracking the beginning stages of this Arctic blast, a super fantastically cold air. We were talking yesterday up towards central Canada of negative 21 degree readings. That's not going to be the case for the lower 48, but we will tap into daytime highs that will be into the single digits in many northern plains communities, and then 20s as we head into the weekend for the Pioneer Valley. So already starting to see the snow breaking out over the Ohio Valley. It's going to continue to push towards our south for the overnight. But you also notice that there's some moisture kind of getting going just to the well east of, say, Cape Hatteras, Cape Lookout, and also into Salisbury. And what's going to happen is this moisture is going to kind of get thrown back across the coast as the storm starts to make its way towards the east. So this is how it breaks down. I want to show you this. This to give you a visual perspective on the storm. And again, Arctic air shooting out of the northern plains. There's the storm. It says, I want to go offshore. Bam, puts the brakes on and throws the moisture right back across the coast. It's called an inverted trough. That's a lot of weather for you, but it really spells out this heavy band of snow that's only about 60 to 100 miles in width, and it stretches from northern New Jersey to about the Litchfield Hills. If this storm can track more towards the north, we could easily be back into some really accumulating snow. But right now it looks to be we're on the outer fringes of some of these heavier snows, so we'll call a 1 to 3 inch snowfall amount for many communities in the valley. It's not until you get out towards the west. Take a line, Mass Pike from Otis on towards the west, going towards Housatonic, it could be a 3 to 5 inch amount, and I wouldn't be surprised to see over 5 inches in some areas. It's 5 to 9 inches to the south of that, but again, that's where the heaviest of the band sets up from Danbury going into the mid-Hudson Valley. Again, track being the critical component to the forecast, and if this storm shoots more towards the north, we could be right back into the potential of some significant accumulating snow. So keep it locked on 40. Forecast will change, and certainly we'll keep track of that. Today's highs into the 20s and 30s today, much cooler than yesterday, where we were talking readings yesterday into the middle 30s. And then for tonight, we're into the teens for really everyone. A quick check of that exclusive 7-day forecast shows you a weekend that's pretty chilly. Talking about numbers that'll be into the 30s for everyone. Overnight lows into the 20s. The snow gets going tomorrow morning from the south right into Connecticut. It gets going for the Pioneer Valley and north of us for the overnight Friday going into Saturday. Cold by Sunday across the state, though. We're tracking this puppy. This is some really cold air up in the Yukon territory. This is dragging down all this cold air, all associated with what's called an Alberta Clipper, and this is going to track towards the northern plains, and by later this weekend will make its home in western Mass. You can see on the water vapor imagery, jet streams are very zonal. Zonal is tranquil, but you can see already the density of this cold air pushing out of the Pacific Northwest, and you can see this little curl in here. That is what's associated with this Alberta Clipper, essentially going to bring very cold air and a storm threat as we head into the weekend. 13 in Fargo, 10 in Chicago. You ain't seen nothing yet. Look how cold the air is in central Canada that's associated with this Clipper system, where it's negative 23 degrees.
I think you guys, too, about Friday afternoon's commute, though, if we look forward.
We're all going out of town.
Yeah, well, if you're going, again, this is how I'm breaking it down. If you're going north, you have until about Friday night to get your travel-ons. If you're going south, you might want to get your travels on Thursday night going into Friday because of this storm coming from south to north. Now, we are in the outer fringes of some pretty heavy snow, and we're going to break down the maps coming up in the next half hour. That was a 7-day forecast. Gives you an idea what the week's going on. I'm sure a lot of people are like, watching a storm by next week? Right. Yeah, there's another storm. So Mom Nature's throwing everything at us.
We can get our groove on now, but we can have our travels on, be sure, by Friday afternoon.
That's it.
I think I can
groove it up now, travel on later.
Thanks, Mike.
All right,